Thanks for stopping by the channel. Today I'll be going over Michigan State, the 2023 schedule and my predictions. And just a disclaimer, this is not a sports channel or anything, so don't hit that subscribe button. If you want to hit a like button, that's cool. But anyway, hence the name Random Green. Random is, anyway. Well, Michigan State had a successful season in 2021. They beat Pittsburgh in some bowl game. I can't remember. So, anyway, it was a good win. They had a good season in 21. Last year, 5-7. Not that great. Peyton Thorne for 23 went to Auburn, transferred to Auburn. He's now at Auburn. I don't know if he's going to start, but Michigan State is my top program that I root for. My favorite team is Michigan State Spartans. I've been a fan since Lorenzo White was running back, and I always liked the program. They've consistently been a decent program, not a walkover for most. For some good programs like Ohio State, they walk over Michigan State lately. And I like the coach. The coach is a good coach. I'm trying to think of his name here. Anyway. Sorry. Anyway. Yes, let's start. Enough of that intro. Sorry. They open up with Central Michigan. Central Michigan, they should win. Central Michigan's a team that they've always struggled with. Believe it or not, it's been a kind of a thorn in Michigan State's side. There's times where they just completely dominate them. But there's also there's those years where I remember back in 2009, Central Michigan had a really good football team, and they had a pretty good quarterback, and I think they had Antonio Brown was on that. Yeah, Antonio Brown, I think, was on Central Michigan team. Maybe not on the 2009 team, but they could have been. And they always put a thorn. They're always a thorn in Michigan State's side. Even if Michigan State, like I say, they find a way to dominate, Central Michigan will always be a team that's tough. And but I think this year they open up. They're going to be motivated after a 5-7 record, and they should be able to beat Central Michigan the first game, 2 or 3 touchdowns. They play Richmond. I think they're in FCS. They might be in FBS. There's so many teams that move up to FBS, and it's hard to keep track. Richmond, they should be able to beat, and then they'll play Washington at home. The Huskies are a much improved, they're a good team. They're a good Pac-12 team. And I think they're one of the teams that could probably win the Pac-12. Everyone's looking forward to USC. And but Washington could be one of those contenders, along with Oregon. But again, Washington, it'll be a tough game. And I don't see Michigan State winning this game. I'm not going to be one of those fans that just sits there and says, well, Michigan State's going to go 12-0 and national champs. I mean, there's fans out there that they're not really logical fans. They like to see them just dominating, but they're not realistic. And I think that game is going to be a loss at home. Then they play Maryland. I think this will be a close game, but I don't see them beating Maryland. I think Maryland's a good, Terrapins are a good program. I call for an upset next game against Iowa. I think they win by a field goal. It's going to be a really close game. And then play Rutgers. They should be able to win. Rutgers is not a bad program with Greg Schiano coming back last year or the year before. But they should be able to beat them. Then they play Michigan. I don't see them winning that game. Michigan's going to be tough. J.J. McCarthy and the running back, I think he's back. I think they lose some O-line, but and I don't know much about their defense. Like I say, I don't really follow it like some. I mean, like I say, I'm not one of those that sits there and studies the players and like what's their grandfather's middle name and all that stuff. It's kind of hard to keep track of. But I think they get beat by Michigan. They get dominated. And last year that was that locker room incident, or not locker room, but hallway incident. But so I think Michigan State will try to get revenge, but I think Michigan's just too talented. Michigan wipes them out by 40. I honestly, it probably won't be 40, but I mean, it's going to be a tough game. Then they play the Gophers. They got destroyed last year, 34-7, but I think it'll be closer. But I see that they lose that game. Then they play Nebraska at home. Matt Rule's the coach there, and they win 27-24, I'd say, at home. Another field goal, close game. Then they play Ohio State. Ohio State's loaded. They're good. They lose their quarterback to Carolina. I just don't see them beating Ohio State. I think the streak continues against Ohio State, getting beat. I see them beating Indiana. And what I have in front of me, I don't have the road and away games. I have the home and away games. So I just see who they're playing. I should have wrote down if they're at home or at. And that would have probably made a little better prediction, but I just have who they play in my notes here. Say they beat Indiana, and then they play Penn State. I don't see them beating Penn State. I really don't. Anything can happen. But at that point, I see them going 6-6, and they get into a bowl game, and I'll just leave it at that. I think it'll be a 500 year this year up in East Lansing. I do apologize. I wish I remember the coach's name. I think me being a Michigan State fan, I follow their football program more than I do basketball. And anyway, I see them at 6-6, and they get in the bowl game, but I'm not going to say if they win or lose. At that point, it's like getting to a bowl game would be a good turning point for the program. But I hope they prove me wrong, and I hope they go. And again, this is. I'm not a big sports. I mean, I don't follow sports like I used to, but I know some things. So I think they'll be good. I think 500, better than they were last year, and get to a bowl game at 6-6. I'm going to be realistic. I'm not going to be one of those that whatever. So, thank you very much. Have a nice day.